Welcome to the British Accent Podcast. We are delighted to have you with us for another interesting and thought-provoking episode. Today's episode is all about the future of transportation and the exciting changes that may transform the way we travel in the years ahead. Transportation has always played a vital role in human life. From walking and riding horses to driving cars and flying across continents, every generation has experienced new ways of moving from one place to another. Now, technology is advancing faster than ever before, and many experts believe that the next 50 years could bring even greater changes than the last century. Imagine a world 50 years from now. What will our cities look like? How will people travel to work, to school, to the shops, or even to another country? Will traffic jams become a thing of the past? Will journeys become faster, safer, and more environmentally friendly? Will we still rely on traditional cars, trains, and airplanes, or will entirely new forms of transportation become part of everyday life? Around the world, scientists, engineers, and technology companies are already developing innovative solutions to modern transportation challenges. Electric vehicles are becoming more common on our roads. Self-driving technology is improving every year. New ideas such as flying taxis and high-speed transport systems are moving from science fiction into reality. Some people even believe that regular travel beyond Earth could one day become possible for ordinary citizens. In this episode, we will explore how transportation is changing step by step. We will look at the technologies that are already being used today and examine the possibilities that may shape the future. We will discuss electric vehicles and how they could help reduce pollution. We will explore self-driving cars and consider how they might change the way people commute. We will also talk about flying taxis, advanced train systems, and the possibility of traveling at incredible speeds. Finally, we will take a look at future space travel and consider whether journeys beyond our planet could become more accessible in the decades ahead. The future of transportation is full of exciting possibilities, and while nobody can predict exactly what will happen, it is fascinating to imagine how our lives may change. So stay with us as we take a journey into the future of how humans will move around the world. Let's begin our exploration of the transportation systems that could shape the next generation and beyond. Before modern transportation existed, human travel was extremely slow and physically demanding. People originally moved entirely on foot, carrying everything they needed on their backs. Early humans had no roads, no vehicles, and no machines to assist them. Travel was limited to short distances and often depended on survival needs like food and safety. As civilizations developed, humans began to domesticate animals for transport. Horses, donkeys, camels, and oxen became the first natural vehicles of human history. These animals allowed people to travel longer distances and carry heavier loads. The invention of the wheel was one of the most important breakthroughs in transportation history. Simple carts and wagons made it possible to move goods more efficiently across land. Ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, Greeks, and Romans built roads to support transport and trade. These early road systems helped connect cities and allowed empires to grow and expand. At the same time, water transportation was also developing. Boats and ships became essential for trade between regions separated by rivers and seas. Sailing ships allowed humans to explore new lands and establish global trade routes. For centuries, wind and human strength were the main sources of transportation power. Everything changed dramatically with the Industrial Revolution. Steam engines introduced a completely new way of moving people and goods. The first steam locomotives transformed land transportation forever. Trains could now carry large numbers of passengers and heavy cargo over long distances in a short time. Railway networks quickly spread across countries and continents. Cities grew around train stations, and trade became faster and more efficient. The invention of the steamship also revolutionized sea travel. Ships were no longer dependent on wind conditions, making ocean travel more reliable. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, another revolution began in transportation. The invention of the automobile changed personal mobility forever. Cars gave individuals the freedom to travel independently without relying on trains or animals. Road networks expanded rapidly to support growing numbers of vehicles. Soon after, the invention of the airplane opened the skies to human travel. For the first time in history, people could fly across countries and oceans in a matter of hours. Air travel made the world feel significantly smaller and more connected. In the decades that followed, aviation technology improved rapidly. Jet engines made airplanes faster, safer, and more efficient. Commercial flights became a normal part of global transportation. At the same time, highways and modern infrastructure transformed land travel once again. Logistics systems evolved, allowing goods to be transported quickly around the world. Shipping containers standardized global trade and made international transport highly efficient. By the late 20th century, transportation systems were highly advanced and interconnected. Cars, trains, ships, and airplanes formed a global network that supported modern life. However, as cities became more crowded, new challenges began to appear. Traffic congestion, pollution, and energy consumption became serious global concerns. These challenges pushed scientists and engineers to search for better solutions. Electric vehicles began to emerge as a cleaner alternative to traditional fuel-powered cars. At the same time, high-speed rail systems were developed in several countries. These trains could travel at extremely high speeds while remaining energy efficient. In recent years, even more futuristic ideas have begun to appear. One of these ideas is the Hyperloop system. The Hyperloop is a proposed transportation system that moves passenger pods through low-pressure tubes at extremely high speeds. If fully developed, it could allow travel between cities in just minutes instead of hours. Although still under development, it represents a possible direction for the future of transportation. From walking on ancient paths to imagining high-speed vacuum travel systems, transportation has undergone an incredible transformation. Each stage of development has brought humans closer together and reshaped the way societies function. And now, as we move into the future, the next transformation may be the most dramatic one yet. Electric vehicles, often called EVs, are becoming one of the most important changes in modern transportation. They are no longer a rare or experimental technology. They are now appearing on roads all around the world. An electric vehicle is powered by electricity instead of traditional fuel like petrol or diesel. This simple change in energy source is creating a major shift in the automotive industry. One of the main reasons electric cars are becoming popular is environmental concern. Many people are worried about air pollution in cities. Traditional cars produce exhaust gases that contribute to climate change. Electric vehicles produce no direct emissions while driving. This makes them a cleaner option for the environment. Another reason for their popularity is the rising cost of fuel. Gasoline and diesel prices can change quickly and become expensive. Electricity is often cheaper and more stable in cost. This makes electric cars more economical in the long term. Government policies are also encouraging the use of electric vehicles. Many countries offer tax benefits and subsidies for EV buyers. Some cities even provide free parking or special driving lanes for electric cars. These incentives make electric vehicles more attractive to consumers. Technology improvements have also played a major role. Early electric cars had limited range and weak performance. Modern electric cars can travel much longer distances on a single charge. Some models can now compete with traditional cars in speed and comfort. Charging an electric vehicle is becoming easier every year. However, charging infrastructure is still one of the biggest challenges. Not all regions have enough charging stations. This can make long-distance travel difficult in some areas. Governments and private companies are investing heavily in charging networks. Fast charging stations are being installed in cities, highways, and public parking areas. These stations can recharge a car in a much shorter time than older systems. Home charging is also becoming more common. Many EV owners install charging points in their garages. This allows them to charge their cars overnight. Battery technology is another key factor in the rise of electric vehicles. Modern EVs use lithium-ion batteries, similar to those in smartphones. These batteries store large amounts of energy in a compact space. However, they are still expensive to produce. They also degrade slowly over time, reducing performance after many years. Scientists are working on new battery technologies to solve these problems. Solid-state batteries are one of the most promising innovations. They could offer higher energy capacity and faster charging times. They may also improve safety and reduce production costs. Another challenge for electric vehicles is charging time. Even with fast chargers, it can still take longer than refueling a traditional car. This difference affects convenience for long trips. Range anxiety is another common concern among drivers. This refers to the fear of running out of battery before reaching a charging station. Automakers are trying to solve this problem by increasing battery range. New electric models can already travel hundreds of kilometers on a single charge. In addition to cars, electric technology is expanding into other transport systems. Electric buses are being used in many cities. Electric motorcycles and scooters are also becoming popular in urban areas. Even electric trucks are being developed for cargo transportation. This shows that electrification is not limited to passenger cars. It is becoming a global transformation in transportation. As more renewable energy sources like solar and wind power are used, electric vehicles become even cleaner. This creates a more sustainable energy cycle. The combination of clean electricity and electric transport could significantly reduce global emissions. Many experts believe that electric vehicles will dominate the future of road transport. However, the transition will take time and requires continuous innovation. Infrastructure, battery technology, and consumer acceptance must all develop together. Despite the challenges, the direction is clear. The world is gradually moving away from fossil fuel vehicles. And it is driving steadily into a cleaner and more electric future. Self-driving cars, also known as autonomous vehicles, represent one of the most advanced developments in modern transportation. These vehicles are designed to move without direct human control. Instead of a driver, they rely on computers, sensors, and artificial intelligence. The idea is simple in theory, but extremely complex in practice. A self-driving car must understand its environment in real time. It must detect other vehicles, pedestrians, traffic lights, and road signs. It must also predict what other road users might do next. To achieve this, autonomous vehicles use a combination of technologies. Cameras provide visual information similar to human eyes. Radar systems detect the distance and speed of surrounding objects. LiDAR systems create a detailed three-dimensional map of the environment. All this data is processed by powerful onboard computers. Artificial intelligence then analyzes the situation and makes driving decisions. These decisions include accelerating, braking, steering, and changing lanes. One of the main goals of self-driving technology is to improve safety. Human error is responsible for a large percentage of traffic accidents. These errors include distraction, fatigue, speeding, and poor judgment. Autonomous systems do not get tired or distracted. They can react faster than humans in many situations. This could potentially reduce accidents on roads worldwide. Another major advantage is increased convenience. Passengers could use travel time for work, relaxation, or entertainment. Commuting could become a more productive and less stressful experience. Self-driving cars could also improve traffic flow. Computers can coordinate driving more efficiently than human drivers. This may reduce traffic jams and improve fuel or energy efficiency. Autonomous vehicles could also increase mobility for people who cannot drive. This includes elderly individuals and people with disabilities. However, despite these benefits, there are still significant challenges. One of the biggest concerns is safety in complex environments. Cities are unpredictable, with pedestrians, cyclists, and sudden changes in traffic. Even advanced systems can struggle in unusual situations. Weather conditions such as heavy rain, fog, or snow can also affect sensors. This makes reliable performance more difficult in real-world conditions. Another challenge is the question of responsibility. If a self-driving car causes an accident, it is not always clear who is responsible. Is it the manufacturer, the software developer, or the owner of the vehicle? This creates legal and ethical problems that are still being debated. Ethical decision-making is another important issue. In unavoidable accident scenarios, a car may have to choose between two harmful outcomes. For example, it might need to decide between protecting the passenger or pedestrians. Programming machines to make such decisions raises difficult moral questions. Public trust is also a major factor in adoption. Many people are still hesitant to fully trust a computer with their safety. This slow acceptance can delay widespread use of autonomous vehicles. Cybersecurity is another concern in self-driving technology. Because these cars rely on software, they could potentially be hacked. A cyber attack on a vehicle system could have serious consequences. For this reason, strong digital security systems are essential. Despite these challenges, development continues at a rapid pace. Many companies are testing autonomous vehicles on real roads. Some cities already have limited self-driving taxi services. These early systems are not fully autonomous yet. They still require human supervision in certain situations. However, each year they become more advanced and reliable. Engineers are constantly improving sensors, software, and decision-making systems. Machine learning allows these systems to learn from millions of driving scenarios. Over time, this makes them smarter and more accurate. Many experts believe that fully autonomous transport will eventually become common. However, it will likely be introduced gradually rather than all at once. We may first see widespread use in controlled environments like highways or cities with smart infrastructure. Eventually, self-driving technology could become a standard feature in most vehicles. When that happens, the role of the human driver may slowly disappear. And computers may truly take the wheel in everyday transportation. Flying cars and air taxis are no longer just ideas from science fiction. They are becoming real engineering projects in the modern world. Many companies and research teams are actively working on aircraft that can take off and land vertically. This technology is often referred to as urban air mobility. The main idea is to move short-distance travel from roads into the sky. Instead of driving through traffic, people could fly above it. One of the most important technologies behind flying cars is the electric vertical takeoff and landing system. This is often shortened to eVTOL. These vehicles use multiple rotors to lift off the ground like a helicopter. However, they are designed to be quieter, cleaner, and more efficient than traditional helicopters. Several prototypes have already been tested in different countries. Some companies have successfully completed short test flights with passenger-capable aircraft. These early models are usually designed for short urban trips. For example, traveling from an airport to a city center in just a few minutes. The goal is to reduce traffic congestion in heavily populated cities. Urban areas around the world are becoming more crowded every year. Road infrastructure often cannot keep up with the growing number of vehicles. Flying taxis could provide a new layer of transportation above existing road systems. This would effectively create a three-dimensional transport network. In this system, roads would still be used for local travel. But the air above cities would be used for faster, longer-distance urban trips. This could significantly reduce pressure on road traffic. It could also shorten travel times in large metropolitan areas. Another potential benefit is reduced ground pollution in cities. Electric flying vehicles could produce lower emissions than traditional transport systems. However, this depends on how the electricity is generated. If renewable energy is used, the environmental impact could be much lower. Despite the exciting possibilities, there are still many challenges to overcome. One of the biggest challenges is safety. Flying vehicles must be extremely reliable because any failure could be dangerous. Unlike cars, there is no simple emergency stop on the ground. Air traffic control is another major issue. Cities would need new systems to manage large numbers of flying vehicles in the sky. This includes flight paths, altitude levels, and communication between vehicles. Without proper coordination, the airspace above cities could become extremely complex. Noise is also an important concern. Even though eVTOL aircraft are designed to be quieter than helicopters, they still produce sound. If many of them operate in cities, noise pollution could become a new problem. Battery limitations are another technical challenge. Flying requires a lot of energy, especially during takeoff and landing. Current battery technology limits how far these vehicles can travel. This means most flying taxis will likely be used for short-distance trips only. Cost is also a major factor. At the moment, flying vehicle technology is very expensive. It may take many years before it becomes affordable for the general public. Infrastructure is another important issue. Cities would need special landing pads called vertiports. These vertiports would likely be built on rooftops, parking structures, or dedicated stations. They would need charging systems, maintenance facilities, and passenger services. Regulation and legal approval are also essential. Governments must create new laws for flying vehicles in urban airspace. This includes safety standards, pilot requirements, and insurance rules. Public acceptance will also play a major role in success. Many people may feel nervous about flying in small autonomous aircraft. Building trust in this technology will take time and real-world experience. Despite all these challenges, progress is moving forward quickly. Several companies have already announced plans for commercial air taxi services in the near future. Some experts believe that early versions of flying taxis could appear in major cities within the next decade. At first, they will likely be limited to specific routes and controlled environments. Over time, the technology may expand and become more widespread. If successful, flying cars could completely change how cities are designed. Road congestion could be reduced significantly. Travel times could become much shorter. And transportation could move into a new dimension above the ground. The sky may no longer be just for airplanes. It could become part of everyday urban life. And the future of transportation may literally rise above the streets we walk on today. The next generation of travel represents the most futuristic stage of transportation development. It goes beyond improving current systems. It explores completely new ways of moving people across cities, countries, and even planets. One of the most talked about ideas in this area is the Hyperloop system. The Hyperloop is designed to transport passengers in capsules through low-pressure tubes. These tubes reduce air resistance to almost zero. This allows the capsules to move at extremely high speeds. In theory, Hyperloop systems could travel faster than airplanes over short distances. This means a journey that normally takes hours could be reduced to minutes. For example, traveling between major cities could become almost instantaneous. The system uses magnetic levitation or air-based propulsion to move the capsules forward. Magnetic levitation means the capsule floats above the track without physical contact. This reduces friction and allows smoother and faster movement. Although the concept is highly advanced, it is still under development. Several companies are testing prototypes and small-scale systems. However, building full networks is extremely expensive and technically complex. Safety and passenger comfort are also important challenges. Even small pressure changes inside the tube must be carefully controlled. Despite these difficulties, the idea of ultra-high-speed ground travel continues to attract interest. It represents a potential revolution in how we think about distance. Another major area of future transportation is space travel. For many years, space was only accessible to astronauts and government missions. However, this is beginning to change. Private companies are now developing commercial space tourism. This means ordinary people may one day be able to travel beyond Earth. Early space tourism flights have already taken place with very wealthy passengers. These flights allow people to experience weightlessness and see Earth from space. Although the trips are short, they represent a major milestone in human travel. Spacecraft technology is also improving rapidly. Reusable rockets are making space travel more cost-effective. Instead of being discarded after one use, rockets can land and be launched again. This innovation significantly reduces the cost of space missions. Some companies are even planning longer space journeys. These include trips around the Moon and potentially even to Mars in the future. However, space travel still faces enormous technical challenges. Life support systems must work perfectly in extreme conditions. Radiation exposure is another serious concern beyond Earth's atmosphere. Human health in long-duration space travel is still not fully understood. Despite these risks, progress continues at a steady pace. Looking ahead to the year 2050, transportation may look completely different from today. Cars may be mostly electric or fully autonomous. Road traffic may be reduced by smart traffic systems and flying vehicles. Cities may have dedicated air corridors for drones and air taxis. High-speed ground systems like Hyperloop could connect major urban centers. Space travel may no longer be a rare event reserved for astronauts. Instead, it could become a special form of tourism or exploration. Artificial intelligence will likely play a major role in managing all these systems. Transportation networks may become fully automated and highly efficient. People may no longer think about driving, navigation, or traffic in the same way. Instead, they may simply select a destination and allow the system to handle the rest. Sustainability will also be a key focus of future transportation. Clean energy sources will likely power most systems. This could significantly reduce global pollution and environmental impact. The combination of speed, automation, and sustainability will redefine mobility. Travel may become faster, safer, and more accessible than ever before. The boundaries between cities, countries, and even planets may become less important. Distance itself may feel much smaller than it does today. And the future of transportation may ultimately transform not only how we move, but also how we experience the world around us.
Cinema Talks?
Welcome to Cinema Talks. In this section, we explore a movie that connects to today's topic of the future of transportation. The movie of the week is Back to the Future Part 2. This film was released in 1989, but it shows a vision of the future that is still fascinating today. The story follows Marty McFly as he travels to the future year 2015. In that future world, technology has transformed everyday life in surprising ways. One of the most iconic ideas in the movie is the concept of flying cars. In the film, cars move through the sky instead of roads. This creates a city where traffic exists both above and below ground. At the time the movie was made, this idea felt extremely futuristic and unrealistic. However, it reflects a long-standing human dream of escaping road congestion. Another interesting prediction in the movie is the use of advanced urban technology. The film shows self-lacing shoes and smart clothing. It also shows digital advertisements and interactive screens everywhere. While not all of these technologies exist in the same way today, many similar ideas have become reality. For example, smart devices and wearable technology are now common in daily life. The movie also presents a highly automated society. Characters use voice commands, digital systems, and automated services for everyday tasks. This is similar to how modern smartphones and artificial intelligence assistants work today. Now let's focus on transportation specifically. In Back to the Future Part 2, flying cars are a normal part of city life. Although we do not yet have widespread flying cars, we are seeing early prototypes of air taxis. These are still in development, but the concept is very similar. Another idea in the movie is fast and efficient personal transport systems. In reality, we are now developing high-speed trains and Hyperloop systems. These technologies aim to reduce travel time between cities dramatically. So in some ways, the movie was surprisingly accurate about future transportation trends. However, not everything in the film became reality. We do not yet have fully functional flying skateboards or automatic food hydrators. We also do not have the same level of futuristic city design shown in the movie. This shows an important lesson about predicting the future. Some ideas develop quickly and become real. Other ideas take much longer, or may never happen at all. Still, science fiction plays an important role in inspiring innovation. Many engineers and inventors are influenced by movies like Back to the Future. These creative visions help people imagine what is possible. And imagination is often the first step toward real technological progress. When we look at transportation today, we can see that fiction and reality are becoming closer. Electric cars, autonomous driving, and air mobility all once seemed like science fiction. But now they are actively being developed in the real world. This makes us wonder what current science fiction ideas might become reality in the next 50 years. Cinema does not just entertain us. It also helps us imagine the future before it arrives. And Back to the Future Part 2 remains one of the most iconic examples of that idea.
Words of Wisdom.
Welcome to Words of Wisdom. In this section, we reflect on a powerful quote and connect it to today's topic. The quote of the week is from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "The future depends on what you do today." This is a simple sentence, but it carries a very deep meaning. It reminds us that the future is not something random or uncontrollable. Instead, it is something we actively shape through our actions in the present. Every decision we make today has an impact on tomorrow. Even small actions can lead to large changes over time. When we think about innovation, this idea becomes even more important. New technologies do not appear suddenly out of nowhere. They are the result of years, sometimes decades, of research and development. Engineers, scientists, and designers all build on the work of the past. And they make decisions today that will define how people live in the future. Transportation technology is a perfect example of this idea. The cars, trains, and airplanes we use today were once only concepts and sketches. They existed first as ideas in the minds of inventors. Then those ideas slowly became experiments and prototypes. And finally, they became the everyday systems we rely on now. Electric vehicles, for example, are shaping the future right now. The decisions being made today about batteries, energy, and infrastructure will define how clean our future cities will be. Self-driving technology is another example of long-term thinking. The algorithms and systems being developed today will determine how safe and efficient travel becomes in the coming decades. Even futuristic ideas like flying taxis and Hyperloop systems depend on current research. Every test flight, every simulation, and every engineering improvement is a step toward that future. This shows that progress in transportation is not sudden. It is built step by step through continuous effort. It also reminds us that delays in innovation can affect the future as well. If we fail to invest in clean energy today, the environment of tomorrow will suffer. If we ignore technological development, future transportation may remain limited and inefficient. So this quote is not only inspirational. It is also a kind of responsibility. It encourages us to think carefully about the consequences of our actions. It reminds us that the future is not waiting somewhere far away. It is being created right now in laboratories, factories, and design studios. And it is also being shaped by the choices of governments, companies, and individuals. In the context of transportation, this means that every innovation matters. Every improvement in safety, speed, and sustainability contributes to a better future. When we invest in better systems today, we build a more connected world for tomorrow. And when we think long-term, we create possibilities that may once have seemed impossible. So as we reflect on Gandhi's words, we can connect them directly to the future of transportation. The world we will travel in tomorrow is being designed by the decisions we make today. And that makes every step forward incredibly important.
Curious Minds. The Science Corner.
Welcome to Curious Minds, the Science Corner. In this section, we explore the science behind one of the most fascinating transportation technologies. Today's topic is magnetic levitation, also known as maglev trains. Maglev trains are a special type of train that does not touch the tracks while moving. Instead, they float above the track using powerful magnetic forces. This might sound like science fiction, but it is real science and real engineering. The basic idea behind magnetic levitation is the use of magnetic fields. Magnets can either attract or repel each other depending on their orientation. In maglev systems, strong magnets are arranged so that the train is lifted above the track. This lifting force is called levitation. At the same time, other magnetic forces are used to move the train forward. This eliminates the need for wheels and reduces friction almost completely. Friction is one of the main factors that slows down traditional trains. Because maglev trains have almost no contact with the track, they can reach extremely high speeds. They also produce less noise and experience less mechanical wear over time. There are two main types of magnetic levitation systems. One type uses electromagnetic suspension. The other type uses electrodynamic suspension. Both systems rely on carefully controlled magnetic fields to lift and guide the train. In electromagnetic suspension, the train is attracted upward toward the track. In electrodynamic suspension, the train is pushed away from the track using repelling forces. Both methods achieve the same result, which is stable floating motion. To move the train forward, linear motors are used. A linear motor works like an unrolled electric motor. Instead of spinning, it creates motion in a straight line. This allows the train to accelerate smoothly and efficiently. One of the biggest advantages of maglev technology is speed. Some maglev trains can reach speeds of over 600 km per hour. This is much faster than conventional high-speed rail systems. At these speeds, travel between distant cities becomes extremely quick. Another advantage is safety. Because there is no physical contact with the track, there is less risk of derailment. Maintenance costs are also lower because there is less mechanical wear. However, maglev systems also have challenges. One of the biggest challenges is cost. Building maglev infrastructure is very expensive. It requires completely new tracks that are different from traditional railways. This makes large-scale adoption more difficult. Another challenge is compatibility. Maglev trains cannot run on existing railway tracks. This means countries must invest in entirely new transportation networks. Despite these challenges, several real-world maglev systems already exist. For example, China operates a commercial maglev train in Shanghai. This train connects the city with the airport at very high speed. Japan has also developed advanced maglev technology and continues to test ultra-fast prototypes. These real examples show that maglev technology is not just experimental. It is already being used in limited but practical applications. Looking into the future, maglev technology could become more widespread. It could be used for long-distance travel between major cities. It could also be integrated into future transportation systems like Hyperloop concepts. If combined with renewable energy, maglev systems could become both fast and environmentally friendly. This technology represents a powerful example of how science can transform transportation. It shows how magnetic forces, when carefully controlled, can overcome gravity and friction. And it gives us a glimpse into a future where travel is faster, smoother, and more efficient than ever before. We are now reaching the end of today's episode. In this journey, we explored the past, present, and future of transportation. We started with early travel methods, such as walking and using animals. We then moved through major inventions like trains, cars, and airplanes. We saw how each innovation changed the way humans live and connect with each other. We also looked at the rise of electric vehicles. We discussed how they are helping create a cleaner and more sustainable future. We explored self-driving cars and how computers may one day take full control of driving. We examined flying taxis and the idea of moving transportation into the sky. We also imagine the next generation of travel, including Hyperloop systems and space tourism. Each of these technologies shows how fast transportation is evolving. And each one brings both exciting opportunities and serious challenges. From speed to safety, from convenience to environmental impact, everything is changing at once. Now we want to leave you with a few questions to think about. Would you trust a self-driving car to take you to your destination without a human driver? Would you feel comfortable traveling in a flying taxi above a busy city? How would you feel if your daily commute happened in the sky instead of on the road? And how different do you think your life would be in a fully automated transport system? These are not just science fiction questions anymore. They are real possibilities that engineers and companies are working on today. As we look down the road into the future, it is clear that transportation will not stay the same. It will continue to evolve, improve, and surprise us in many ways. We may see cleaner cities with electric transport everywhere. We may see faster journeys between countries and continents. And we may even see travel beyond Earth becoming part of normal life. But no matter how advanced technology becomes, human curiosity will always drive progress forward. Before we finish, we want to thank you for listening to the British Accent Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the future of transportation. We hope it helped you learn new ideas and new vocabulary. And we hope it inspired you to think about what the world might look like in the years ahead. In our next episode, we will explore another exciting topic from science, culture, or everyday life. So make sure to join us again for more interesting discussions and natural English practice. Until then, take care, keep learning, and keep imagining the future. Goodbye for now, and thank you for being with us today.